Backcountry Discovery Routes, we're known for the epic off-highway routes we create for adventure motorcycling across the U.S. We've been delivering adventures of a lifetime since 2010. But as a nonprofit, our mission is far more than just drawing lines on the map. BDR is dedicated to inspiring exploration beyond the pavement and advocates to maintain access for all who enjoy the sport. We leverage our broad reach to communicate the importance of rider safety and showing respect for the communities and the public lands our routes travel through. And through it all, a beautiful thing happens. Thousands of riders each year deliver critical tourism dollars to the small businesses and rural towns along our routes, strengthening the very places that make these adventures possible. Be a part of this journey with us. The future depends on you. Help fuel our mission. Donate today at ridebdr.com.
This route will be certainly one of our longest, if not the longest, when we finish. We're talking well over 1,300 miles.
So I've been working on this route for a little over 3 years. Biggest curveball we encountered was obviously Hurricane Helene.
The fall colors here have been equally as spectacular as the Northeast on this trip.
Starting in Florida, moving up through Alabama, the terrain has changed so much. We're in this beautiful, dense forest.
I really think the adventure riders on the eastern seaboard are craving this kind of experience.
I think everybody can do it. You need to have some experience, of course.
Just get out there and try it. It's gonna be the best experience you ever had. And then you're gonna wanna do another one.
I think once this is released, it's gonna be one of the most popular of all of them.
I love the mountains, I love the beach, so I kinda got both of them on this route.
Mid-level challenges, but nice forest roads. If you don't like riding curvy, twisty, paved roads on a dirt bike, you just don't really like riding a motorcycle.
I consider myself still a novice. Knowing that you're going to be riding with people that are very experienced in ADV, it was a little bit daunting.
In 7 short years, BDR has completed our mission here on the East Coast, which is giving riders the opportunity to ride from the Gulf of Mexico to the Canadian border.
It's really good. It's a bona fide BDR route.
The Southeast BDR is a 1,300-mile journey through the stunning and diverse landscapes of the southeastern United States. The route consists of 10 sections, starting at the sugar white sands of Navar Beach, Florida, before winding through the Appalachian Mountains in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina, ending in Damascus, Virginia, the starting point for the Mid-Atlantic BDR. Riders will experience a remarkable variety of climates and terrain, from dense forests and scenic overlooks to picturesque lakes, roaring rivers, and optional challenging sections. This route is accessible from early spring to late fall and will take an average of 7 to 10 days to complete. The SEBDR marks a significant milestone for BDR, completing the East Coast Trilogy of 3 interconnected eastern BDRs to create an epic route from the Gulf of Mexico to the Canadian border.
Well, we're at Navar Beach right now. You're 6 hours from Atlanta, 9 hours from Nashville, Tennessee. So it's accessible, but we are in the panhandle of Florida.
So the airplane dropped me in Georgia, where I met up with my motorcycle, and here I am in Florida. I don't have a clue what to expect. That means around every single corner there's gonna be an adventure.
It's usually a 2-day process for us to get the bike sorted. Everybody comes in. It's an exciting time. Get your Southeast graphics right here, free 99. We're decaling the bikes. Everyone's prepping and packing and getting the support truck ready.
So we have KTM, Yamaha, Triumph, the Aprilia, Harley-Davidson, the Husqvarna. I think this is gonna help show other riders that wanna do a BDR that you can pretty much ride whatever bike you'd like.
You ride one bike, nonstop. Sometimes you can wonder how long you're gonna stay interested, right? But I love this thing. Definitely a good bike.
Check every bolt on your bike to make sure it's tight. You need fresh tires. And your bike isn't normally used to riding more than a couple days usually. Then it's just your gear. You want, your clothing to be able to adapt to weather differences. Tools to help fix your bike, first aid kit to fix yourself, and then the last is some kind of satellite communication device.
We went down to the beach and literally all put our back foot in the water, front foot forward, as if we're about to start our journey. And to me, that's just so cool, right? We had our feet in the salt water and we're starting a BDR.
About to go on an epic ride.
It's going to be surreal to go from the beach to the Appalachian Mountains.
This is such an incredible start to a route. I mean, we're literally at the ocean. It's the first time in BDR history.
We're going to start with a fairly long street section for the first 45 minutes or so, just to pass through the Eglin Air Force Base, the largest Air Force base in the world.
Beautiful fresh sea breeze. What a great way to start this ride. Say goodbye to the water as we go across this beautiful bridge. This looks like the dirt starts here.
I mean, right out of the gate, we were on a sand road and everybody was just trying to get their sand legs on. And
I would recommend that people go ahead and put their ride modes in something they can be happy with, perhaps for the rest of the day, because the dirt sections are interspersed with pavement. And you'd be happier, I think, if you could find a setting and kind of leave it.
You know, the sand, it's not the kind of deep sand that'll swallow you up and spit you out. Underneath it is this wild layer of hard packed clay. And then you're instantly back into 4 to 6 inches of sand.
Now we're riding in the woods. Got some cool big trees overhanging the road here.
Once we get towards Alabama time, we'll start getting some hardwood stuff. The leaves are changing. We get a little more elevation and stuff going up into Alabama.
One of the interesting things about this entire track is that it's an evolution. The topography is going to change, the food is going to change, the southern accents, the draws will shift, the vistas will evolve. It's really a journey. I've ridden this section probably 5 or 6 times in the past few years, and this is the only time I've seen it this dry. Usually you have water spanning the entire width of the trail. It's normally just a mud-fast lake, very dry right now.
Still early on day one, and boy, we've gotten a nice taste of unpaved terrain to explore around. People who think Florida doesn't have any ADV riding certainly aren't riding with our guys. Yeah, we've had a little bit of everything here in the last 150 yards. Nothing like Florida to give you diversity and variety.
Well, I've ridden that section many times, but today I proved that I cannot ride sand.
I was definitely not expecting this fun of riding this early in the route. All right, Tobias, go get it. Yeah! Woo! It's really getting us warmed right up here, man, I'll tell you what.
That's how you ride so good. KTM orange, Kawasaki green. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. 5, 6, 7. In case you missed it, 8.
It's been a great run through Florida, and I cannot wait to see what Alabama has to offer.
So here we go, crossing the state line.
As soon as we crossed into Alabama, we started climbing up into the mountains, cruising through these curvy tracks, kicking up leaves everywhere.
Nice way to get started on the first day of the South East BDR.
So why did we stop here in the middle of this rural back road?
we stopped because we're amongst the cotton field here.
You got some cotton balls for your makeup tonight.
Looks like cotton candy.
Don't eat it.
You won't find cotton fields anywhere on the Mid-Atlantic or the Northeast. You know, it's funny, Kirk described this first day as a transport day. It was mostly going to be road. That has not been our experience. I would say a good 60-70% of this ride this morning has been dirt and sand roads, and they've been fabulous.
I think it was a good mix to get us started because, you know, everybody in the beginning of the trip maybe wanting to find out where they're at, and that's a nice introduction or start into the South East BDR.
All day, just around every corner, it was something new, and you just kind of did this hopscotch. It was just a great medley of roads today. So my hat's off to Kirk and Monty and the rest of the team for putting this together.
We're at the Conecuh Sausage Factory at the store.
Sausage.
Sausage.
This is the real deal, Conecuh sausage in Evergreen, Alabama.
This has not been a high-speed BDR this morning. We go through a lot of areas where there's houses. You want to be mindful of your speed because there's people that live out here. They use these roads, they drive on them, they walk their dogs.
I can't think of another BDR I've ever ridden in my life that had as many dogs. It's a dog-friendly route.
So we're on Old Federal Road. Was originally designed to be the main thoroughfare to take you from Washington, D.C. all the way to New Orleans. Behind me is Anderson Stage Stop, which is the original stage stop. Over 100 years old and still standing, obviously.
We just rolled through a cute little town called Pineapple. Lots of really nice old fixed up houses. A lot of them have signs in their yard giving them cute pineapple names.
This town, small now, maybe 130 population, but at one point it was an important town because of lumber industry, among other things. How many people live here now?
I'm not sure what the population is now. I know we increased it a percentage point or two.
That's awesome. It's named Pineapple because it was known for its apple orchards and its pine forests.
That's kind of what I've heard too, and it's why you see it too. It's separated. It's not one word. It's pine apple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Day one was good, very dusty. You know, it's end of summer in the south, so it's very dry.
There was a point where we were cruising down this sand road and the light was just feathering through the trees and creating these beams of light, and those beams of light were full of dust, and it just created this like magical environment. I think everyone can relate to that. There's a point where you're like, yes, this is it. And that was it for me today.
So Selma became a focus point for the civil rights movement. In 1964, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. staged a couple of marches from Selma to Montgomery. There were conflicts coming across the bridge with local law enforcement, and there was violence, and people were outraged. They couldn't believe this was happening in America. Ultimately, the civil rights legislation of the mid-60s was passed, and it basically ensured that anybody who was a citizen of the United States could register to vote. It all started right here. The base of the bridge is where the fighting happens. It's a sad piece of history, but it was important.
The history of Selma, yes, it goes from the Civil War all the way up to the Civil Rights. During the Civil War, the Confederacy had a foundry here that made cannons, cannonballs. When the Union soldiers come through, they burnt the whole city. The Confederacy actually threw most of the cannonballs and cannon stuff into the Alabama River. Museum on Water Avenue kind of covers the history of Selma, the farming, agriculture stuff here, all the way up, you know, to the modern times.
This train station was built where the Naval Arsenal was. And what it is, it's an incorporation of all of Selma and Dallas County's history. I have a whole room for civil rights. I have a whole room for the Battle of Selma. We have a bow and quiver that Geronimo made when he was in prison in Mount Vernon, which is South Alabama.
The museum was probably the highlight in Selma. Feeling the history there and learning about what really went on in Selma, there's a lot here.
Good morning from the St. James Hotel here in Selma, Alabama. I'm really looking forward to some more dirt here in the southeast.
Day 2, we leave Selma, and then we get into the Talladega National Forest. Fairly dirt heavy. We're gaining altitude. We've already gained 500 feet or so, and before the day's over, we'll be at least to 1,000 feet. I can't keep up with Brian. He's on a 790, I'm on my 701, but he lives 10 miles from here. So everything we're going to be riding today, and part of what we rode yesterday, we give Brian full credit.
It's just so cool. We just came out of a really hot, sweeping section of gravel. Then you pop out onto this paved road right here. Just big, expansive views, and you really tell what kind of elevation we've picked up.
We've got chicken and turkey, some fruit.
Did you just whip this up right on the side of the road here?
Right here.
What's your favorite American junk food that you can't get back home?
Twinkies. The food is special here in the South. They like the food fried pickles, fried tomatoes, fried. We didn't have fried cake, but I was thinking about, frying cake. So.
Candy cigarettes. Big League Chew. The gazillionaire sauce. Maybe that's what you need to be putting on your steak.
I definitely need this. Guys not long ago said, "Where do we eat?" And I said, "On your tailgate." I said, "Got it."
And you're open year-round?
Yep.
And that's because of?
Deer season.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your busiest day you've had in terms of number of deer coming in?
Last year we took in close to 60 one day.
You have another operation here. What do you sell there?
Hard liquor. But we know everybody's creatures and habits, and we know all their needs, and we pretty much know.
You have repeat business, don't you?
Every day. Every day. Same people, same stuff.
This is a fun little forest section here. Kind of a 2-track with some whoop-de-doos and some water bars.
I like it going, especially this time of year, because we had all the leaves on the ground, and as we were coming through and the riders in front of me, all the leaves were going up in the air, and it was just really pretty.
The pinnacle of American cuisine, the Twinkie. Wow, it kind of reflects also the group here. Soft on the outside and kind of sweet.
Aww.
You don't see big groups like this just out here in the middle of Coosa County very often, so yeah, I'm kind of lucky to have all this kind of just 10 miles or so from where I live, but there's all kind of little back roads and trails and stuff like that through here.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for stopping and saying hi.
Sure.
Nice running into you.
Awesome to meet you guys. It really is.
Safe ride. We'll catch you again.
Yep.
Going up to the top of Flag Mountain here.
So probably my favorite point of interest on this route is an observation tower built by the CCC. Getting there around golden hour in the afternoon was really, really special.
Wow.
So when we got to the top of the observation tower, we hung the BDR flag loud and proud, and we were able to have that experience with our crew and be proud of our route here.
Oh, just beautiful. Look at this light. We're gonna go and do a little bit of an alternative, harder loop.
You don't have to take this part of the track. You can take the main route. It's really pretty though, especially right now with the trees turning.
You got to be on your guard because conditions can change quite rapidly.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get in that.
I am riding a brand new 2024 Pan America 1250 Special. It performs really, really well, and it handles like any modern adventure bike should handle. Very happy to be on it.
I'm pretty sure that this at some point is a pretty sizable puddle.
It's usually like a lake of these gigantic mud puddles with ditches, and you don't know where to go. It's just it's all a big brown thing.
It was fun, fun, fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I can imagine it'd be really difficult if it was wet.
And we got just enough time to get to our lodging for tonight.
What a day.
A little tired, but it was a great day. About 175 miles, but it was great the whole time.
Thanks for letting us be here.
It's like a hostel takeover.
I know.
We've got full amenities, so we offer the hostel with 6 beds. We have a kitchen, bathroom, laundry, all the things that you would need to refresh, rejuvenate, and get back on the trail.
We were basically in a rustic hiker's hut, sleeping in bunk beds, dealing with the snoring and all the things that come with hanging out with your favorite buddies in a group lodging setting like that.
We have marinated chicken to follow up with the corn.
You're doing a bang-up job.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Just had breakfast and some coffee. Ready to take on the adventure today.
It might even rain a little bit, which would be okay.
Yeah, a little tacky, maybe some hero dirt out in the woods.
Hero dirt, I love it. So it's day 3. We continue to have more dirt than we did the first day. So we're getting dirtier, we're getting higher, we're getting more technical, we're gonna have an alt harder. But it's gonna be a good day, and we'll cross into the state of Georgia at the very end of the day.
It's been fun for us because y'all are a different kind of outdoor experience for us. So it's good to be able to add that to our niche.
Business owners and the communities that we're traveling through are already starting to get excited because they're starting to learn a little bit about what we're all about and what BDR potentially brings to their community.
They're very excited that we might be bringing more adventure riders through their community.
I know that BDR riders will have some meaningful economic impact over time.
Here we go, on to the dirt. For right now, we're up in the mountains of Alabama. It's going to be some higher elevation riding. Beautiful fall colors starting to emerge up here as we wind our way through the leaf-covered back roads of Alabama.
Now we get into the foothills of the Appalachian Mountain Range.
We start off on a great national forest road. Got a lot of embedded rocks. You have to pick your line through them. It's just, you can't just go straight through. You have to go to the right, the left, to kind of work your way around.
We're going to have an alt harder, and it's probably my favorite alt harder because it's lengthy. Most alt harders on this trip are relatively short.
If you would find yourself going onto the harder alternative, then you should probably be quite comfortable riding over ledges or loose rocks.
Yeah, this is good. This is the first technical section on this route. Lots of terrain here, lots of texture.
You got to be on your A game. Look ahead, pick a line, and then execute.
This is probably the most fun so far on this ride, and in just such a beautiful, beautiful environment up here.
The minute you think you can gain a little speed, you see a sharp-edged rock and you realize you should stay in a lower gear.
Come on, do it, do it, do it. Go right through.
No. Oh yeah, we've got a view.
Fun.
It was super fun.
Playing with the rocks, and there's really one good line, which means the other two get the not good line, and that just made it super fun.
We like to call that spirited. It was a spirited
pace.
Up on the lookout, we were lucky enough to have a good reception. As a coincidence, my wife called, and my 2 little kids, and we had a small video call up there, which was very pleasant.
We climbed maybe 1,500 feet from sea level, and before we're done here today, we'll climb to 2,500 feet, and then continue on. We'll cross into Georgia before the day's over. So I lost the side stand magnet, so I carried a spare dongle, they're called. So we were ready to fix it on the trail. It only took about 5 or 10 minutes, and we're back on the ride now.
Oh, Kirk. Gee, he's been so busy planning the route, he hasn't had time to take care of his motorcycle. Thank you. How's your day?
Excellent.
You got us some lunch. You picked a great spot for lunch.
I got to head on back where I can go to work tomorrow.
Have you enjoyed riding with the group?
I loved it.
Aww.
I'll see you soon.
We have another dog story here in the makings. Yum. Yeah, you're hungry, huh?
3 bowls of water up here, full bellies, and they're very loving, so I think they're happy.
This is a hard place to get to. This is a cemetery in the middle of the national forest that goes back to, we think, the 1700s. We have at least one Confederate soldier grave. He was born in 1830 and died in 1914.
We were up at that cemetery and I put my vlog camera on my top of my pannier. Then we all got on our bikes and we rode away and I left it on the top of my saddlebag.
You guys gonna go back for the camera?
Got my eyes peeled for anything in the road. Ah, I found it. I found it. Someone picked it up and put it on a stump. Look at that. Woohoo! There we go. Yeah, dude, for sure. Right on.
So we just crossed the border from Alabama into Georgia at Highland Park Motorcycle Off-Road Resort. It's a off-road riding facility in Georgia that caters to dirt bikes with single-track trails, a map of the trail system, overnight camping, and they have small cabins and a bathhouse. They also have a mechanic on duty and parts and oil, and so it's a point that we wanted to note for the riders who might need these kinds of accommodations or camping spot or some assistance. It's also a multi-line dealership.
We love visitors. We love all of the tourism and everything. You come here as strangers, but you leave as friends.
Whether it's the strangers we've met while we've been riding or the people that have been at the hotels and the restaurants, the people, they're so nice and friendly.
We really worked hard to have our logical stopover points be very small communities. We purposely stayed away from the major cities.
Stagecoach Pizza Co. Bought this building in 2 years ago. 30s, 40s, 50s, it was a drugstore. 70s, it was a florist, and it was a photography studio. We had a vision, we had a dream, and that we wanted a pizza shop. Took us 2 years, and just created a pizza place. It's going great. We have been truly blessed.
We're going to the famous Cave Spring, one of the purest water sources in the nation.
The spring itself, that's where we get all our drinking water from in this area. People are over there every day getting jugs of water to take home with them.
It comes straight out of the ground and it provides drinking water for, I think, at least 2 counties. It was used by the Native Americans. People come from wide and far to actually drink the Cave Spring water directly out of the ground, and that's what we're about to do. I'm going to use it all day long, and tomorrow I would look hopefully 10 years younger because I understand this is the fountain of youth.
I've lived here my whole life. I'm 144 years old.
You'll live forever.
You're looking great, man.
Well, thank you.
This little section right here is called Jenkins Extension. It's a lot of fun, a little rocky.
Oh, we're so close now. The final ascent, baby.
This is a very pretty overlook. It's an optional ride up here, but it's probably worth it.
And really taking in the view and just enjoying the outdoors. We've had beautiful weather, and I hope that BDR riders experience what we're experiencing on this expedition. It's been fabulous.
getting to try shrimp and grits, blackened catfish, collard greens. It's been really fun to try different food.
That is a rack and a half. Oh!
The food's a little different, delicious, and nice to try, you know?
So this afternoon, we're going to be riding through the backwoods of northwestern Georgia. This is an area called the Narrows. Not the best traction, you're slipping and sliding. Interesting section in the woods here of Georgia. Really nice forest road. There's a creek or a river flowing through the woods here. Cool, what do we have here? Old fire engine, huh?
Lloyd's fire truck in the middle of the National Forest is an iconic spot. Seems like everyone who's on a motorcycle, they all want to stop here at this fire truck and get a photograph.
They don't eat, they don't sleep. Nope. All they do is film.
We found Tim's cell phone and we're gonna actually prank him. So we gave it to Mr. Harley Davidson right here.
Dude, it was right there. Who's got it? It was right there.
What? Don't put things on your pen here, Tim.
Give me my phone. I know.
I don't have it.
I know what you. I can tell in your eyes. I know those eyes. I'm supposed to be keeping this expedition on the rails, and I keep throwing it off the rails.
This is cool. We're in some kind of campground. Here's some cute little cabins.
They make homemade meals. They have Wi-Fi available, all these different cabins that you can stay in with bathhouses. They have, I think, a laundry service.
By partnering with their local bike shops, they can get you a rental mountain bike here, shuttle you up to the top, you can go rip some single track, and then get back on the BDR the next day.
All in all, it's a tailor-made BDR location, and we're really glad that we got this in here.
Fresh fruit, bacon, grits, eggs, granola, yogurt. It was amazing.
That is our lunch package from today. I didn't make it, it got made for us. I feel like a pro rider here.
It's you and me on the vlog camera.
Oh yeah.
We are in Ellijay, Georgia, and it is actually the touch point of the Chattahoochee BDRX. So riders would actually have the option to make a detour and ride the Chattahoochee BDRX all the way across the northern part of Georgia and then hop back on the main route and continue northward.
We're about to feed me caffeine.
Oh.
So let the games begin. On rides like this, you just can't get enough caffeine. I see they have a poster here just for you.
Doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you don't stop.
This is a cute town. The fudge shop.
Since it's fall themed right now, it's a pumpkin Danish. Pumpkin Danish. Pumpkin.
Pumpkin spice macaron right here.
Mm-hmm. Did you just lick it? You just licked it?
Wow, it's cool and misty up here right now. This is going to be a really interesting, fun, beautiful ride.
It's not dusty anymore, but it's a bit foggy.
It was like being in a jungle. It was so amazing and beautiful and just not what I'm used to.
Seems like we're getting a little bit of that Smoky Mountain fog.
It's knocked all the dust down, but it sure has added an element of difficulty with the slippery leaves and rocks just obscured under that leaf layer.
This is new to me to see all the leaves down. I'm not used to riding in such a thick coating of leaves.
Hey! Yeah, that was a real cool section. I was following you, and it kind of felt like we were surfing the leaves.
It did.
It was so cool, and just, you know, the whole scenery is just great.
like these vines hanging down. They give it quite a jungle feeling in here.
We're over halfway, and we have 3 or 4 days of largely dirt remaining for this particular expedition.
Fall is such a great time to ride here. It's stunning. The leaves are falling. It's nice because we're under the canopy most of the day, so it's nice and cool. A little bit of moisture on the ground, so it's nice and tacky.
My name's Kyle Kirschman. I am from Tellico Plains, Tennessee, and I am one of the local route experts that helped put the route together with Kirk.
So Kyle, you've ridden, I think, the entire SEBDR. Give me your impressions thus far.
Here we're just riding on the native rock, and down in Florida we were riding on sand, and we're just all rock up here.
So let's talk about the riding season.
I actually prefer riding in the winter up here because once all the leaves are down, you can actually see a whole lot more of the mountains.
This is the line of demarcation between Tennessee and Georgia.
Next cool thing we're going to ride is called Tumbling Creek Road. It's down in the valley, so it's a lot tighter. The road's often kind of wet and be a little bit rocky.
Well, when I first came in here, probably about 2.5 years ago, came up across a section, I was like, rocky. Came across another section, even more rocky. And then the next section was even more, so it's super rocky. So it's all rocky right now.
It's nice to have a little bit lighter bike so I can flick it around. There was some moisture on the ground this morning. Some of the rocks were pretty wet. You can't see them under the leaves. And I hit a couple, and I had, both wheels trying to take off. You have those little like, oh no moments, but they're gone. So yeah, so far so good.
I hope my wife's never going to see this because I'm normally not allowed to eat that stuff.
I don't know how, but I have a flat.
That looks like a flat.
It was kind of a messy process, and everybody was jumping in and trying to help. But sometimes you have 8 hands when you only need 2 or 3.
What's about your hair?
I can only imagine.
Are you trying to look like Sterling?
Yeah. It was wonderful to see everybody rally around, no matter what happened.
I got a new tube. I'm good for another 1,000 miles. Look at this place right here on the river. And you got the barbecue going.
We've got poke steaks.
I don't actually think I've ever slept in a chuck wagon before, but I'm kind of excited about it. I like the look of this thing. I left my bedroom slippers home, so you got to make do with what you got.
My name is Dustin Wheelen. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm here on the South East BDR with Revzilla and Triumph. I'm doing a series on adventure riding and learning how to become a better adventure rider. Today I'm riding the Tiger 900 Rally Pro.
Hats off to Dustin. He shows up in a taxi in the middle of the woods. He walks in, clean as clean can be. He's ready to join the crowd. And I'm like, how is this gonna go?
His gear was clean and he looked very tailored, and I thought, well, let's see.
We're at this beautiful overlook, which is I think over 2,000 feet. And we can see into Georgia. We can see mountain peaks in the distance. And we're going to continue on into Tennessee today. It's going to be a great ride. Probably the most action-packed of all our rides.
The experience I had with Triumph's Adventure Experience course really helped just because it instills the fundamentals that you need for riding off-road. Being able to jump right in and being able to ride, it's really invaluable to get that extra training before you get out here.
There's lots of hunters out here today.
And it's actually bear season, and it's still hog season because the feral hogs who live here in the southeast are not native. We'd like to have them eradicated.
We just keep calling you yard dog, but who are you? Do you belong to someone? Would you like to come home with us? I think you would fit on the back of somebody's bike.
What do you think so far? 1 hour into the ride today?
Oh, it's great. Rocky, which is fun, actually. There are some mud puddles out there, which honestly, you guys are all pretty dirty, so I need to catch up to you. So I'm trying to hit as many as possible.
Wow, respect to this guy. Just came in and he just rocked it.
We put him in the point position and told him which way to go. Without hesitation, he jumped on that Triumph and led the team. And to his credit, he rode like a champ the whole time. And I think Triumph should be pretty happy with their choice of riders.
You were just telling us that you didn't have a lot of damage from the hurricane.
No, we had lots of rain, but nothing.
And it's really incredible that just a couple hours north they got hit so hard.
It is, and we were worried we were going to get it, but we didn't.
I got to ask you a little bit about this store. This thing's been around since the 30s?
Open for business third Sunday of May in 1936.
36.
We've been in this building since 56. I grew up in the back of the store. We all lived in the back.
Oh, you lived back in the back?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And it was a post office for many years, right?
60-something years. I was postmaster for 40 years, and my sister was postmaster until they closed it.
Little forestry work happening out here in the woods. All right, guys. Woo!
It's about a 4-mile detour off the main track to take this extension down here into the Hiawassee River. This little powerhouse we're approaching, called Appalachia Powerhouse, was created to utilize water from the Hiawassee further upstream. But it's historic, it's important, but it's the last place I can imagine finding a powerhouse out here in the middle of the forest like it is. They created a community out here to build all this, so they put housing. People lived here for years as they were doing all the construction. This structure is actually known as the alien launch pad. It's such a weird structure. Yeah, it looks like an alien landing pad, I guess.
I have a feeling we're going to get into some more technical challenges here at the end. Lots of leaf cover on the ground here. Very difficult to see what's on the road surface.
I really like this bike. I think the thing that makes a difference and separates it is the ride mode, and in particular the off-road ride mode. It gives you just the right amount of slip on the rear wheel, so you can spin it up a little bit, steer with it, and get a little bit loose, but not to the point where I feel in over my head and I feel like I'm going to dump it or something.
This is Buck Bald. You get a great view of a couple of states. It's quite spectacular, particularly this time of year.
Continuing our theme of beautiful backcountry paved roads, cool old houses and cabins, very pleasant, scenic backcountry journey today.
Coming up right here, we have an alt-harder track. We get to do Wit Road, which is famous for its 4 water crossings.
I describe the first creek crossing as an alligator back because it has these ridges that run in the direction of travel, and it's also very slippery. It has moss. Wit Road is pretty popular, not just with motorcyclists. You have the locals out with their 4-wheel drives and their pickup trucks who love to play in these creeks. They're pretty aggressive. They'll move the stuff around too and change the feature. It's all part of the game.
What are you guys doing out here today?
Raising hail. Mess some trucks up, that's about it.
How about you? What are you doing out here today?
The same thing as him, just trying to tear that truck up. I'm in the black flatbed.
How's it going? You tearing it up?
I did tear it up. I had to plug a bunch of stuff up and rewash some things right quick.
Well, at least you got it all cleaned off now.
Yeah, I got it going too. I pulled it up there.
Right on.
You're welcome. You have a good one.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
You guys have a good ride. With water crossing, I prefer not to think about it too much because then it gets inside your head.
What rock is where in the grooves changes every time the flow changes in the creek. Depending on the water flow and the time of year and how much algae is growing on it, it can be very slippery.
It's a challenge. You can be a great rider and have a bad day on Wit Road. You can be a sloppy rider and have a great day.
Here's another big creek crossing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I really did fall it.
They did a really good job of preparing us for those water crossings. So I was, very happy to complete them and honestly to get them over with.
Did I mention today is Halloween? There we go. We've got some trick-or-treaters. Looks like we're staying in a farmhouse.
My wife and I own the farmhouse inn in Tellico Plains, so obviously we're very motorcycle friendly, always have been.
Look at this thing. It's like a big pom-pom. I am in heaven right now.
Family who owned this farm, I think, settled here in like the mid-1850s. And this is one of the original houses on the farm.
We are in what we like to call the BDR bubble, which means once you're out on a BDR, you forget about everything. You just forget what time it is, what day of week it is.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Today is about 100 miles, pavement, twisty, more gravel.
So we're fueling up, and some of the guys are opting to put on their rain gear.
It will rain. I'm sure at some point you will also get hot because you're starting at sea level. Pack accordingly.
The real benefit here is that it's still 65 degrees out.
We are on the Big Santitla section. We're at the historic Stewart Cabin, which is an old homestead cabin. And a lot of people like to stop and take a little break and imagine living in these quarters with no facilities of any kind back in the day.
So we just got off the Cherahela Skyway.
Awesome. Having the best time of our lives.
Beautiful day.
Whoa, that's a big one.
I'm on a big bike, riding the Harley-Davidson Pan America, and this thing has been just charging hard. The Pan Americas are the only full-size bikes on the route this time. On bikes that have different ride modes, it's a good time to think about maybe changing what ride mode you're in into a little bit more conservative mode. Let that bike help you out a little bit. When you're not feeling it, when your hands are all wet or starting to get cold, there's nothing better than letting the bike take away some of that trepidation.
It's a little soggy. It's a little hard to see. There's some fog up at the top of one of these mountains. Bringing down the pace so we don't slide out or make any unnecessary mistakes. We're having a blast. We're chit-chatting, keeping each other company, and the adventure goes on. Well, we woke up to a slight chance of showers.
Fresh squeezed glove juice.
I've never ridden off-road in the rain. It's a challenge, but that's what makes it fun.
And this is what we have coming up ahead. Just like turn, 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 turn.
We are Porterhouse Road. Porterfield? I'm just thinking Porterhouse. And you got good company, good motorcycles, fuel in the belly, fuel in the gas tank. It's hard to go wrong no matter what Mother Nature's giving you. You know, the scenery is incredible, the fog out in the trees, the autumn leaves, all this stuff is super awesome for the senses. But boy, you can hardly take your eyes off the road. We got the 2-track going here. There's traction under there, but you don't feel it right away. And so it's super unnerving. I've definitely been feeling pretty tentative here.
Just came in out of the rain at Maria's Diner.
Found out that I didn't dress very well today, so I've got water wicking throughout all of my layers.
Got onto this paved road, and this just could not be more beautiful. Curvy North Carolina mountain roads. This is something else.
Mahela Outdoor Center is famous. It's been around for 40 or 50 years. Kayaking, mountain biking, other facilities that do rafting and other outdoor activities across the way. So this is a kind of outdoor mecca in the mountains of North Carolina.
Coming close to the end of day 7 here. It's been raining all day. Now the rain has broke, cruising along, the roads are drying up, and a good day nonetheless.
Yeehaw!
Mahela means the land of the noonday sun.
Sun only shows through at midday.
Midday.
Right? Yeah. But this whole gorge is a very special place, isn't it?
Very special.
And you have a restaurant, I believe, in here.
We have actually 2 restaurants and 2 bars.
It was a good time. We had movie night after dinner. Terminator 2 was on.
Hasta la vista, baby.
It's getting long with the same group of people, you know. I'm definitely sad that we're rolling out for the last day.
Get into the chopper.
How much work did we have to do on these bikes, and like, was there a lot of maintenance going on here during this 8 days?
We had one spare one flat tire.
Who was that?
Just turned on to Whiting Stairs Road, and we are climbing up top this gorge. Winding Stairs Road was super fun and scenic. Man, looking down the little cliff drops to the creek below was super stunning.
It is so beautiful. Look at that, look at that. Hard to stay on the road.
We are at the Appalachian Trail crossing, but we're going to be passing over the Appalachian Trail the entire remainder of the route. And actually, if you continue on in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, you'd cross it countless times.
We didn't really see anyone getting ready to do any through hiking. I think it's a little late in the season for that, but very cool to have that iconic Appalachian Trail crossing to what will be iconic South East BDR. So now we've just dipped down probably 200-300 feet in elevation from the summit, and the colors are just popping. This is some really spectacular riding right now. At this point in the ride, I'm just not ready to quit. I wish we had 3 more days ahead of us. I really am feeling it.
Oh man, you guys are gonna be in heaven up here, Tim.
Well, I couldn't be happier right now. Look at you, hi. You're the young one with all the energy, huh? Yeah. So how many do you have all together?
We got 12 total.
That's a lot of mouths to feed, huh?
Yeah, but they're worth it.
Oh, of course.
They're my babies.
What you all hunting for today? Rabbit.
Bye-bye, it was nice to meet you. I have been in heaven. Adventure bikes and dogs.
Everybody's excited to kind of end this thing because it kind of had enough of me, which I can understand.
If you want to live, follow me.
Okay.
Guys, where's my helmet?
What'd you do with your helmet?
Where is it?
Well, we're in the town of Maggie Valley. It's in the heart of the Appalachian Mountain Range in the Smokies here in North Carolina. We're at the famous motorcycle museum known as Wheels Through Time, with motorcycles dating back to the very early 1900s, and they're all restored to be functional. You can crank and actually ride these motorcycles. You're allowed to get up close, and it's just a heck of a lot of fun. It's become a must-see museum for motorcyclists traveling through the area. SEBDR route comes right by this location.
Well, we elected at this point, given Hurricane Helene and the damage that was done, to end the route for this expedition in Maggie Valley.
It's kind of like having like the best movie ever, but you had to leave the theater in the middle of it.
What we plan to do is, when appropriate, we will come back here and film the remaining 3 sections of the route and look forward to everyone enjoying this route in its original intent.
Well, we are back in Maggie Valley. This is end of April of 25, so yeah, 6 months after we ended the first part.
6 months earlier, when we were doing the original documentary, we were unable to proceed past this point because of Hurricane Helene.
This was a unique experience for the production of a BDR, in that we did it in 2 parts. We've never done that before.
In the fall, we just didn't feel like it was appropriate to be leaving Maggie Valley and getting into the recovery area. We're so happy 6 months later to see all of these communities reopening, but they are open for business and they're hungry to see tourism.
One of the greatest things about what I witnessed after Hurricane Helene was the amount of resilience that people showed and the amount of care that people took for one another.
Personally, I am very excited to have 2 new riders for the last 3 sections of this route. Rob Pack is an ambassador out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
I'm excited for everybody to ride it. I think we're going to have some really positive feedback from it.
Also, Thomas Montgomery, who owns Eurosport in Asheville.
I think it's going to give people a good insight as to what we've actually got around the area. This is some stuff that a lot of people don't know about.
Leaving Maggie Valley and heading into Cataloochee, which just reopened, so we have the track intact from the original intended track.
So Rob, tell me a little bit about what's ahead today.
It's roughly 50 miles of gravel roads, then go into some double track. And then this is Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Cataloochee section. Bears are frequently sighted out here. See turkey all the time, of course white-tailed deer. And be careful, by the way, of the elk. They're enormous creatures if you're not aware. And look at this beautiful river. It's 1-lane bridge. What a day.
So here we're crossing the Mount Sterling Trail, and we are having fun. You may come across some downed trees. Just being mindful of watching around corners, staying to the right, and keeping your speed at a reasonable level.
So this shows where they're putting the road back together. See all the debris cleanup. Yeah, this is super wet after a rain. We'll get into some deeper ruts a little further in.
We're in the Martha Sunquist Forest. We're getting ready to get on a road called Chestnut Ridge. It's pretty great. And it is, it's a little spicier than what we've been on so far. And it's got some kind of channels and some berms and stuff you can kind of get up on. Some good turns, some rocks. This is a nice little section. It's got a lot of texture to it. Little slippery, A rocky little hill here. Little sandy corner right there. A bunch of loose rocks up here, gentlemen. One right in the middle of the track.
So we are on Section 8 and we just came up Chestnut Ridge Road, and it's nothing overly technical, but just enough texture to keep you on your toes, and a lot of fun. Look forward to it, guys.
And this is the last bit of dirt after the kind of the end of that 50-mile section, and then we're going to pop right out into the neighborhood, so careful about your speed. This is Rob, and we're riding down into the town of Hot Springs. It was a town that was damaged significantly by Helene. The Appalachian Trail goes right through the middle of it.
Last fall, we were supposed to stay in this town, and Hurricane Helene brought so much destruction that the town was basically shut down. So this is a really great place. We hope that everyone stops through and supports this town and keep helping to get it back on its feet.
You can see the road closed sign still partially still up. The route has been repaired, and we can continue going north.
It's been a beautiful day. Section 8 and 9 have just been a dream so far. Behind me is a little swimming hole and waterfall that's going to be real popular when it starts to get really hot.
Every now and then you'll get some chunky stuff right here, like right here, where you just gotta pick your line. Definitely want to keep your eyes out. There's a few sections that have a few ruts.
We are at Rich Mountain Fire Tower. It's been around for, I don't know, maybe getting close to 100 years, I'm guessing. But local trail clubs, Appalachian Trail crosses right through here, and volunteers have kept it going, and they've done a nice job. It's a great 360-degree view. We can see North Carolina, we can see Tennessee from here. It's just, it's almost a must-see stopover.
All right, we're here on Cedar Cliff Road, just outside Irwin, Tennessee, and it's a lovely 2-track through some farmland. There's a bunch of cows.
It's like an apartment. Kitchenette, they have Pop-Tarts in there, so we're squared away.
Nice. I'm very impressed. Had a great night of sleep here in these glamping tents, and we're gonna go run into Irwin, grab some coffee, and get on with our day.
And this is where the Nolichucky River came way out of its banks, flooded all this, including the hospital, which had, I think it was 58 people on top of it that had to be rescued by helicopter. Some dramatic video on YouTube if you want to check that out. We are meeting up with some folks who have completed the Southeast Backcountry Discovery Route, and we're going to chat with them and have a good conversation.
This is, to my knowledge, the first all-woman group to complete the Southeast BDR. So huge congratulations, guys. I mean, awesome.
We have picked up more bikes in the last 10 days than you can possibly imagine. What do you think?
It was an awesome route. A definite crescendo. The routes, the sections get better and better every single day.
Everyone came out every time we got to the end. There were a lot of high fives and fist bumps and ear-to-ear grins, and it was great.
It's a highly traveled road, and you can get up here and everything from a Corolla to your big boy Jeeps, but you see them all up here. If the top of the mountain looks dark green, that's a tall mountain. It's got spruce pine on it, and those tend to grow over the altitude of 5,000 feet above sea level. And it's a beautiful area, but we're getting sort of the benefit of being able to see pretty far because no trees are really obscuring our view too much. Yeah, you can see the road that we traveled on the ridge of that mountain right there, going down into the valley here. We're looking over toward North Carolina, so over toward the Blue Ridge, but this is the Central Appalachian Range, and we're north of the Smoky Mountains.
I can see this being a little tricky when it's wet out. but it's super fun. It's nice to break up the flat gravel roads with a little bit of chunkiness.
So this is an alt harder section, and it's called a Mahela. It's kind of ledgy. It's got some consequences to the right. That's really why it's probably alt harder. And if you got any experience with some more difficult terrain on an adventure bike, you'll be fine.
Slick, sharp, wet right-hander, bottom of the hill.
And we are going through an area that was really heavily hit by the hurricane. Some debris flows there. Yeah, there you go. That's a good example of the landslide.
Betsy's Old Country Store was built in 1924. Had two big old gas pumps sitting out here, you know, the kind you twirl and pump it full of gas and then put it in your Model T or your Model A. It survived the 1940 flood. It was just, you know, hit and miss after that. And I ain't going nowhere till I'm dead. Did you hear that? I ain't going nowhere till I'm dead.
Just south of Grandfather Mountain, having a nice day. It hasn't rained on us yet, so yeah, having a wonderful view here at the falls.
Hey, we're in Banner Elk. Banner Elk sustained significant damage, and so we're going to go by the Elk River a little bit later, and you'll see some of the damage there.
Stayed at Mountain View Motorcycle Campground last night. Rob does snore. He does snore.
Wee little bit.
Mark, the owner, has scavenged a swing arm nut, and lo and behold, we're repairing the bike. And this is like a NASCAR pit stop, by the way. We'll be finished in about 2 minutes.
I've got a full shop. If someone needs a tire change, they can find pretty much anything they need.
We try to provide as many conveniences and amenities as possible.
So we started the BDR about a week ago at the South East BDR and ended up finishing in 6.5 days, more or less, on dual sport bikes.
For both of us, it was our first BDR. We did good. We managed to put in all the optional sections as well.
And it was a lot of fun. Some segments were more challenging than others. But between the scenery and the small towns and everything it takes you through, it was a lot of fun.
Here we are just exiting Banner Elk, and we are on our way to Damascus. We're in what I think is maybe the prettiest street section of the entire SEBDR. Looks like we're in New England or, you know, northeast parts. It just reminds me a lot of Connecticut and Vermont. They had some storm damage on this little road. It's amazing how much progress these guys have made. So here's one of the bridges that is out. You can see the main bridge is definitely broken, and we have a little newly constructed bridge until the main one gets reconstructed.
It's a remarkable place. People are resilient, very, very tough. Central Appalachian folks, wonderful community. I just wanted to call it out. You can see where the river cut into the road significantly here. And of course there's a landslide to my right. It's a good old climb right here. Here we go.
So we're here on the final day of our expedition. We just came up White Oak Road, which is an alt harder. It was a lot of fun, maybe a couple of miles, just very textured, rocky, kind of loose climb. Absolutely doable in a big bike, but it was a lot of fun, and I think it was a great add to this final day of our expedition.
This is Walnut Mountain Road, connecting back up with the top of Heaton Branch. It's kind of steep gravel road with switchbacks, but it's not hard. Beautiful views from up here. Coming back down into East Tennessee. And we are nearing the end of the SEBDR. We have long dirt section here for quite some time. Pretty well traveled road. Be careful, ride right, ride respectfully. It's a section that actually a lot of Jeeps and a lot of gravel bikes will be out here. These kind of trees are very dangerous. At some point they fall. Create a little bit of a hassle for cleanup.
We only have about 40-something miles left, and it's a nice day today, and it's very scenic and fun coming into the very end of this very long route, but it's been quite a journey, and we've enjoyed every inch of it.
We're going up the beginning part of Government Road. This is one of the last two dirt sections.
Sudden, things are feeling a little squishy, and I realized I got a flat tire. Here's what we have. I got a 3-inch deck screw.
Okay, we're turning on to McQueen Gap Road. Nicely graveled, a couple of switchbacks. At the very top, you got a little bit of exposure off to your right, which is really nice. And that's yet another Appalachian Trail crossing.
So we are at the end of the SEBDR. Awesome job. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. You deserve the cape, the BDR cape. Good job, brother. Put it up there.
That's awesome.
Good job.
Thank you guys so much.
Monty, thank you for the hard
It takes a
work.
team. It takes a team.
Thanks, Rob.
I'm just thrilled people are out riding it. I hope this route lasts a long, long time.
We have now connected officially to the start of the Mid-Atlantic BDR and onward to the Northeast BDR. So the East Coast Trilogy is complete.
That's right.
It is.
We are a tourist town. We have many trails all over, hiking, biking.
We're excited that the BDR really chose Damascus as the start for the Mid-Atlantic and the ending point for the Southeastern Trail.
I cannot wait to see people riding this route, and I hope that my grandkids are riding this route and other routes in the coming years.
It's a long route. It's 1,300 miles. Study the website, look at our interactive maps, join our Facebook group pages. You'll get up-to-date information about the route conditions.
There's nothing like getting out there and challenging your skills, and definitely exploring some of these remote towns, and pick a route and get out there and do it. It's going to be the best experience you ever had.
It's something that can't be replaced very easily. And that's really, I think, the true heart and soul of BDR.
I think like others, I didn't expect to, just kind of bond and pair up with everybody on the trip. That's been the funnest part.
It went great, I thought. Nobody got hurt.
It's a beautiful route. You're going to go through various accents of the Southeast, and food and terrain changes throughout this journey.
Me being from Austria, the remoteness that you can find in some places, that's really something interesting or fascinating to see or experience.
It was great just to be able to both lead and follow. I'm just happy to take this home and start to apply it more regularly so that it does, become more second nature to me.
To put 7 to 10 days together with people that you enjoy, seeing things that you wouldn't see without being on a bike and going and finding it, that's the reward.
I hope that when people finish this route, that they come away with a different perspective on Central Appalachia and the Deep South. thought it might be a good idea to mount it at a low angle, but
I'll be 66 in January. If I see a seat, I'm taking it.
I know a thing or two about hair that sticks up. I'm the fluffer.
Pan America, fuck yeah!
I'd eat that cake off the running end of a chainsaw.
I gotta hold this up really high. Yes. Holy shit. Yeah.
Coffee? I had a bunch of coffee.
Testing, testing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Welcome to Georgia.